Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be playing a Star Wars themed Clash Royale deck. Up top we have the good, the Jedi, the Resistance. We have a blue lightsaber. We have Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and then the Ben Kenobi Ghost. And on the bottom we have the Sith. We have a red lightsaber looking thing. We have Darth Vader, Darth Sidious because he shoots lightning. And then we have the clone troopers. So today the good and evil are going to be combining forces to hopefully get a win today. And today's message is something that I guess was reaffirmed of today, and it's to accept. Oh, I totally misplaced that. It's to accept failure, just like you may fail with. Just like I failed with that King Tower activation. And it's just to expect failure when you go into something, not to necessarily be pessimistic, but because failure is going to be, I think because he's playing Royal Giant, I think we save our P.E.K.K.A. for when he plays that. But it's essentially to accept failure when you go into something. And I was kind of taught this today when I was playing some Merge Tactics, and I got up to a certain it's not called trophies, it's called something else, but I got up to a certain medal range, and then I was pretty happy about that because it was pretty far along. I was feeling good, and then I proceeded to lose several battles and drop immediately down to where I was initially, and it was super frustrating. And I'm sure everyone goes through something like that. Maybe it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be Clash Royale related. It can be, maybe we can catch the skellies here. It doesn't have to be Clash Royale related. It can also just be with any kind of project you may have. You may be working on something, working towards a goal for hours and hours and hours, and you may never get there. You may get there and then fall immediately back down again, and it's super frustrating. The job that I used to have was I worked at a car dealership selling cars, and because we were paid commission, we were just paid whenever we sold a car. You didn't make anything if you didn't sell a car. And so there would be days where you would go in, you would work from 8:30 to 8 p.m. You'd work a 12-hour day, and you would sell no cars and make no money. And it was super frustrating because obviously you just put in hours and hours of work and you got absolutely nothing out of it. So you spent hours working towards something, and you never get there. And it's super frustrating, and it can be really discouraging, and it can feel like, why am I even working towards this thing? And in all honesty, sometimes you want to put your foot through a door, because it's like I'm telling you, I'm sure everyone's experienced this. It is frustrating. It is very frustrating when you spend hours and hours on something and get absolutely nowhere. But it took me a while to learn that it doesn't disrupt the process. It's a part of the process. And everybody fails. Even the very best people fail. Even the very best Clash Royale players, like Muhammad Light, even they lose games. And so it's not something to be discouraged of. When you have failure, when you spend so much time on something and get absolutely nowhere on it, it's not something to be discouraged of. Everybody goes through it, even the very, very best. And you just have to trust that you're going to learn through the process, and that the more you stick to it, you're going to progress, because it is frustrating. It's really frustrating falling back down to where you were, hitting a plateau. It's something that everyone goes through and something that nobody likes, but it can help a little bit if you expect that going into something. If you set your expectations low, if you expect that you're going to fail, it's going to be pretty hard to be disappointed. So that's just something that I was kind of reaffirmed of today, something that I'd encourage you guys to do if you're setting up for a project, if you're starting a new class in school. Maybe expect a couple assignments to be incredibly hard and expect to get a bad grade on a couple of them, just so that if and when that does happen, it's not quite as disappointing, it's not quite as heart-wrenching. So just remember, failure is part of the process. Everybody fails, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.